Hello friends, Mandar here. I'm back with another video. Today September 2024 Visa Bulletin is out. There is not much change, but from the notes we can draw some inferences and I will talk about it. I'll also talk about some other topics that are in the news regarding aging out kids and what the 9th Circuit Court has established. Also, there is a news about 3 weeks processing time for new citizens. So people who are eligible for citizenship who have been on the green card and how they can get their citizenship quicker. And some other interesting news that is in the immigration section. I'll also announce the giveaway and my next masterclass. So watch this video until the end and let's get started. If you are here for the first time, welcome. My name is Mandar and I make immigration and lifestyle related videos for US and Canada. I'm not an immigration lawyer, so anything that I say on this video or on my channel is for information purpose only. And for your specific immigration needs, before you take any action, you should hire a competent immigration lawyer. Before we jump into the topic, I would like to remind that there are a couple of links in the description. Those are affiliate links, and if you find something interesting, the channel will get a little bit of a kickback. And while you are down there, do hit the like button because that will greatly help the channel. Do post your comments in the section below and also like the channel because that will get you into the giveaway entry that I'm going to announce by the end of this month. Also, if you have questions, do reach out to me on my Calendly. You can set up some time with me to get my perspective on your situation. Now let's look at the first topic of today, which is the September 2024 Visa Bulletin. Now in the unique wisdom trend style, we'll do a side-by-side comparison of August Visa Bulletin versus September Visa Bulletin and see if you can spot any difference. I'm pretty sure you will be hard-pressed to find any difference. Let's look at it. Now on the left-hand side, you will see the August Visa Bulletin and on the right-hand side, you will see the September Visa Bulletin. Remember, if your date becomes current in the September Visa Bulletin, it will be effective 1st of September, but it will give you time from now until 1st of September to prepare your I-485 application. Now let's look at the first set of numbers, which is the table A, which is family based section. So family based section first. Now one thing I would like to point out that if you want to know the subsections within the family based section, you can check that out in this first section of this family sponsored preference category. Like what does F1 mean, F2A, F2B, F3 and 4. And you can also find the numerical limits in those particular sections. Now let's look at the final action chart for the family based section first. So here's the final action chart for family based section, and I went through the chart and I could not spot any difference. Let's look at it. F1 looks exactly the same for all chargeability: China, India, Mexico and Philippines. For the backlog countries, it's still around 2015 date and it hasn't changed. For F2A, the backlog countries are still at 2021 and it hasn't changed. For F2B, China and India are at May of 16 and that hasn't changed either. And no change for all these categories, by the way, for all chargeability, Mexico and Philippines. China and India again for F3 remains the same at April 2010, and F4, China and India remain at 2007. No change in the dates, which was not expected because they have already reached the end of the year expected dates for these categories. Now let's look at the filing date chart, which is the chart is used by the family based sponsors category for submitting their I-485 petitions. Now F1, I don't see any change. It is still at September 2017 for China and India. For F2, I don't see any change. It remains at June of 2024. F2B remains at January of 2017. F3 remains at January of 2011 and F4 remains at March 2008, and for India it remains at June 2006. So no surprise there for family based section. We have seen a steady progression of those dates over the months, but now they have stalled. Maybe they have run out of the visa numbers. This is not good news. At this time, I am speculating that there might not be any significant spillovers from family based section to the employment based section. I'll be surprised if there is any significant. In fact, I would say that there would be zero or minimal numbers that is flowing from FB category to EB category in the next fiscal year. And that brings me to the sponsor of today's video. Have you ever done the Google search of your own name? Look what I have found when I did mine. Here's what comes up:
While some of this information is relevant, the other makes me uncomfortable that my information is exposed for a sale like this. Data brokers sell your information to scammers, spammers, or anybody else who may want to target you. Your full name, email address, home address, your relatives' names, health information, it's all out there. That's why I have been using Aura, sponsor of today's video. Aura shows me which data brokers are selling my information and automatically submits opt-out request for me. Cleaning up my information not only helps reduce the amount of spam I get, but it also protects me from hackers who could use this information to help them access my social media accounts, bank accounts, or other sensitive information. Aura does so much more to protect my information and my family's information from online threats I can't see. I get other features like antivirus, VPN, password management, parental controls, identity theft insurance, and more without having to download several different apps. It's really easy to set up, and best of all, I get everything for one affordable price. You may already have one or two of these tools, but not having Aura is like locking the front door but leaving your back door wide open. Aura is always on, doing the hard work of keeping me safe so I can focus on other tasks with peace of mind. I value my privacy and I value yours. You can go to my link which is on the screen and in the description and start your free 2 weeks trial. So protect your information, your family, and have a peace of mind. That's Aura.
So no spillover is my prediction. Let's see. Now let's go to the employment based section final action chart. Now here you can see the all chargeability remains current, which is good news for EB1. China and India remains the same, 1st of November 2022 for China and India 1st of February for 2022. Mexico, Philippines remains current. All chargeability for EB2 remains the same, 15th of March 2023. For China it remains the same, 1st of March 2020, and India remains the same at 15th of July 2012. Mexico and Philippines also remain the same. Now EB3, 1st of December 2021, now it has retrogressed to 1st of December 2020. 1 full year of retrogression for EB3 rest of the world, which is again a bad news for the backlog countries because there is no lateral spillover, and it tells you how much is the demand for the rest of the world, that if this trend continues, EB2 and EB3 are going to see more and more less progression even in the new year. Let's talk about it in a moment. Let's finish the chart. Now China remains the same at 1st of September 2020 and India remains the same at 22nd of October 2012. So no progression in September Visa Bulletin. Other workers category has progressed by about a month. I'll not go into that. Fourth preference category also has progressed slight. Fourth preference category has remained the same. Certain religious workers category has remained the same, and EB5 for the most part has remained exactly the same. Now let's look at the filing date chart, and I'm not expecting any changes in here because this is the end of the month, end of the year. This is the last Visa Bulletin for this particular fiscal year 2024. So let's see. All chargeability for EB1 remains current. China remains the same at 1st of January 2023. India remains the same at 8th of February 2022. Mexico and Philippines remains the same. Now 22nd EB2 all chargeability remains the same at 22nd of March 2023. China remains the same at 1st of June 2020. India remains the same at 22nd of July 2012. Mexico and Philippines remains the same. EB3 remains the same, fortunately, for in the filing date chart for at 1st of February 2023. China and India remain the same. China at 1st of July 2021. India at 1st of November 2012. Mexico, Philippines remains the same. Rest of the chart also remains the same. Now let's talk about it for a moment. The thing that I'm seeing here, let's talk about EB1. EB1 has not progressed like we thought that it will progress a little bit towards the end of the year, which is the last Visa Bulletin for this year. It has not progressed. It has stalled at 8th of February 2022. Now the good news is the all chargeability still remains current. This means that there are less number of applicants compared to the visa numbers available for EB1 in all chargeability, which is the rest of the world. That means there are going to be spillovers, there are continuously going to be spillovers into the EB1E category for backlog countries, and this will be a factor in those dates becoming more and more current. So my prediction for October Visa Bulletin for EB1 still remains the same, that it will advance significantly. If not current, it will be very close to current Put down in the comment section below what you think about it. We saw when the last time numbers were released, there were 16,000 visa applicants pending as of March, but now we are in August, so those numbers may have been utilized. There may have been a lateral spillover from rest of the world into EB1A. Who knows? That number must have significantly dropped because dates keep moving and then the rest of the world category still remains current. That's why I'm still optimistic that in October Visa Bulletin, EB1 will be close to current for India. Let's see what happens. Okay, talking about EB2 will be steady progression in October. I'm thinking of 4 to 6 months of progression for EB2 India. For EB3, I'm a little bit pessimistic. Looking at this backlog, looking at this rest of the world EB3 category, which has further retrogressed by almost a year in the final action chart, I'm not too optimistic about EB3. So some people who are contemplating moving or downgrading from EB2 to EB3 just because it's a little bit ahead, I would say hold on to it. Hold on to your hats until October Visa Bulletin. Also, I bought something new that I am excited about. Now let's look at if there are any notes down at the bottom in the new Visa Bulletin. So now availability of the employment based visas during the September. I'm just going to read this out. There has been a steady increase in both USCIS and Department of State demand patterns for employment-based visas during the fiscal year. As a result, most of the employment-based category visa limits for FY24 are expected to be reached during September. So during September at any date, if you remember last year, 6th of September was the date where they exhausted visa numbers. Now this year also something similar might happen. This is a good news in a way that USCIS is processing the applications faster and using up all the visa numbers. This is a great news. There will not be any wasted visas, at least this is what I read from these notes. Expected to reach September, if not sooner. At any time an annual limit were to be reached, we would find it necessary to immediately make that preference category unavailable. So I'm thinking midway through September, there is a possibility that employment visa categories at EB2 and EB3 might become unavailable. Maybe even EB1A. We'll see. Retrogression in the employment-based third preference category and other workers category. As readers were informed possibly in section D last month, actually they did not mention specifically other rest of the world. They just mentioned EB3. So that's why I was a little bit confused. But I still said that it was going to be rest of the world that they mentioned in the last Visa Bulletin for EB3. But they continue to say that the rest of the world, Mexico and Philippines, as well as the EW final action dates for the rest of the world will retrogress. It is anticipated that the final action dates will advance in October Visa Bulletin, which is expected because we get the new set of visa numbers in October. However, date movement will depend on the worldwide demand for EB3 and EW visas and the estimated FY25 category limit. Now, FY25 category limit has not been published yet, USCIS. Last year, we had 160,000 visa numbers for EB employment-based visa category. That was because of the 20,000 spillover. This year, they haven't declared that. Let's see if we find that later on. They have also published the diversity visa, which I'm not going to go into. Okay, now the second topic of today is this 9th Circuit Court rejects age rule challenge for immigrant kids, specifically for India. Now let's see what it says. Now what it says is the 9th Circuit Court rejects age rule challenge for immigrant kids. Federal Appeals Court rejected equal protection challenge to agency rules that Indian green card seekers say desperately impacts dependents of applicants from that country. Now specifically for India, this rule of aging out impacts even worse. India is the only country which gets impacted by the backlog severely, and due to this, their kids, even though their parents start their process early on when they are little, they don't get their green card until the kids reach 21 or even later. And when they turn 21, if they don't meet a certain criteria, they age out and they have to self-deport or at least go on to some other visa so that they can stay in the country. So this disparately affects Indian community in particular. So the appeals court rejected because they say that they don't have a jurisdiction over that. So Indians are not US citizens or green card holders yet. They are still in the line. They're still termed as non-resident aliens. They are on a visa over here, so they don't fall under the jurisdiction. So case must be dismissed because the court lacked constitutional and statutory jurisdiction over plaintiff's claim challenging USCIS services policies, and the panel at the appeals court for 9th Circuit found the opinion on Tuesday. So that's what they say. I can't read the full article, but I thought this was kind of interesting. Do let me know in the comment section below if you have read more about this topic and what do you think about it. Now the next one is also interesting because it talks about giving citizenship within 3 weeks for all those eligible green card holders who have waited for 5 years, especially Indians. Let's look at what this says. Green card to citizenship, Indian Americans can become citizens in 3 weeks. How come they can become a citizen in 3 weeks? As the United States prepares for an upcoming presidential election on November 5th, there is an increasing push to encourage green card holders, particularly those of Indian descent, to consider naturalization. The US government, alongside various advocacy groups, is actively promoting the benefits of citizenship, which include right to vote and full participation in the national civics right. Now this is in a way good thing because Indians have lived here for decades and they still haven't been able to vote in the elections. But now it's an opportunity for those who have been on the green card for 5+ years through employment based category and are now eligible for citizenship. They will be able to vote in the November elections. But I'm wondering if it's a Democratic move or Republican move, because who knows who are they going to vote. Put down in the comment section below what you think about this. I'm particularly curious about this 3 weeks period. I don't think they can approve an application in 3 weeks. Naturalization process by itself takes more than... Now they also talk about why is the urgency. The chairman founder of Asian American Pacific Islanders AAIP Victory Fund highlighted the current administration effort to streamline naturalization process. Under Biden administration, eligible green card holders could obtain US citizenship in just 3 weeks. This accelerates process to particularly timely within the upcoming election, serving as a pivotal moment for many communities to make their voices heard. Okay, I'm not going to go into the politics of this. Let's say you are eligible for citizenship. How long does it take? Let's look at the facts and the chart. I found this on the USCIS website and it's kind of interesting. Now this chart provides the historical processing timing trends for fiscal year 2016 to 2024. Now look at these numbers at the bottom. Now if you look at the N400, which is the naturalization, and look at these numbers, they are consistently within 5 months to 11 months. Now even the current processing time for naturalization application is 6 months to 5 months, 5 to 6 months. Now how come they claim that they will be processed within 3 weeks is beyond me. So I don't understand that statement. Let me know what you think. And while we are here, let's look at the employment based 485 application processing time during the same period from 2016 to 2024. It says it's anywhere between 5 months to 8 months, 10 months, 12 months, and so on. So this is the median processing time, and now they have also given some of these numbers, how the processing time has increased or decreased in terms of percentage, which is kind of interesting. So I'll leave the link in the description to this chart. Let me know what you think about this. So that's really all I wanted to say. October Visa Bulletin is just a month away, so be excited for that. I would speculate that it will come in the first week of September, which will allow you to speculate whether you need to downgrade, upgrade, or whether you need to leave this boat of EB2 and EB3 and join EB1. That is something you can decide after October Visa Bulletin comes out, and on that I'll be doing my next masterclass on EB1A. I go into the intricate details of the criteria, each criteria, also tell you about the real world evidences that you can produce to be able to qualify for these criteria. So do join my masterclass. I'll leave the link in the description, and also if you want to connect with me, do connect with me on Calendly. You can book 30 minutes with me and get my perspective on your situation. And if you leave a meaningful comment on this video or any of the previous videos, like the video and also subscribe to my channel, that will get you into the giveaway that I'll announce at the end of the month. So good luck to all of you. Hope you like the content of this video. If you did, please hit the like button and consider subscribing to my channel, and I'll see you in the next one.